Please hold. Please wake up. 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 How do you feel? Wake up. Please wake up. Wake up. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Please wake up. 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 How do you feel? Wake up. Please wake up. Wake up. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold.
Notice me, Senpai. Notice me.
Host 00312 is now noticed.
Please wake up. 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 How do you feel? Wake up. Please wake up. Wake up. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Please wake up. 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 How do you feel? Wake up. Please wake up. Wake up. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Please wake up. 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 How do you feel? Wake up. Please wake up. Wake up. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Please wake up. 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 How do you feel? Wake up. Please wake up. Wake up. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Please wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Hello. This is the most consistent streaming schedule I ever saw.
Wake up.
Oh no. Well.
Please wake up.
You know,
Wake
I
up.
don't really have. All I can say, you know,
Please hold.
I've been busy
Please hold.
the night before
Please hold.
most of the time. Oh, I do need to start stream earlier, man.
Wake
I
up.
wake up on time. I'm on bed. I'm like, damn.
Wake up.
I don't feel like getting out of my bed.
Wake up.
All that stuff.
Wake up.
I mean, maybe I just need to go to bed earlier.
Wake up.
Maybe.
Wake up.
Nothing new. It's just school, and then I just been editing a lot. You know, the usual.
Wake
The
up.
usual.
Please wake up.
Nothing changed really.
Wake up.
I'm not muted. What's up, Fierce? Ooh, Monica got a job offer at her internship. Let's go. Wait, does that?
Hold.
Wait, does that mean she's?
Please hold.
Oh wait, no. That's. I mean, is this gonna be a permanent job? Cause she's still in Tennessee, right?
Please wake up. Wake up.
Okay, congrats. Tell Monica congrats.
Wake up. Wake up.
You can hear? Alright. Bet. I'm not deaf. Got it. Yeah, but she turns remotely, so when she finishes. Oh, got it. Got it. Power of the internet. Remote work. Sounds Fantastic. But you know, I've been I've been, you know, working on videos here and there, you know. I released one of my many backed up GeoGuessr videos. Then I released that. Remember when we did Pokemon Snap? You guys remember that? You remember that? Any of you remember that? Anybody? You remember when we did Pokemon Snap for one stream? A singular stream? Crazy. This was back in May. Call it to next year. And Wind Waker, but this was in May. So I'm editing stuff from. I have one video I need to make. That's in March. April's done. Most of it is in May. Some of it is in May, and then the rest June and July, August I haven't touched. So I'm really happy I caught up. So we'll see. We'll see how that all goes. We'll see. Then I did one video about the human benchmark, blah blah blah, all that jazz. While we're talking about that, I wanted to know if you guys watched the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl videos IGN released. You want to challenge me to a video game? I don't know any game. Interesting. Well, Fierce, it has to be a game. We both have and play. Not a game. Benchmark isn't a game. And that's something I do every month. So I don't think that's not a I mean, if you want, you could, if you no, I feel no benchmark. Benchmark doesn't count as a video game. Whoops. Sorry, boys. I didn't know you guys were watching yellow screen. People are hyping the Knicks match was up more than Diamond in the rough. Let's go! I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this game.
Get ready. 3, 2, 1,
go! So if you've played the game called so if you guys didn't know, the same company that made this game is the same company that made this game, Slap City. So this is the exact same company, if I recall correctly. They're the same company that developed this game, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And you could definitely see some of the floatiness and the movement feels very similar to Slap City. I have this game, so I know what's up, but it seems like with the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, they took their style and then they expanded it on this game. And everyone and there's one big flaw right now that everyone's pointing out for this game is there's no like sound effects from the character. So like moves have sound effects. Like when April runs and she dash attacks, there's that camera shutter sound, but like what people want are like when like Patrick or SpongeBob get hits, they want like sound effects, like a reaction sound, or when they do like a smash or like a strong attack, they want like a grunt or something like that. They want some. They feel like it's a really hollow game because there's no sound. It feels a little bit empty, and that's people's biggest gripe about it right now. They hope they can maybe add something. They gotta work on the commentators, man. Commentators are half the hype in the game. Come on. Maybe that's like late game. Well, the thing is, it's been leaked that this game's coming out around October. October is when this game's coming out. I don't know why, but I feel like April is like top tier. Just based on this video, like she looks filthy. It's either that or whoever's playing April is an absolute monster. Just look at her. She has 1 stock left. SpongeBob had 2 in the beginning, and then Patrick had 1, and she's fucking working them both. A 2v1. Dude, April's filthy. Yo, April is fucking filthy. Bro, she's absolute filth. Look at that. Dude, she's top tier. S tier right here. I'm already calling it. Let it be known that today, on September 9th, 2021, I am predicting that April O'Neil, the character from TMNT, is a S tier character. Look at that! She just won! I don't, it's so dumb. She's nasty, dude. April's fucking nasty. See, it hurts to not hear any voices, but I'm really hoping this would be great either way. No voice acting for the character, it's a shame. Sound design is easily the worst part of the game. Otherwise, it looks solid. This needs voice acting. That's what I'm saying. See, we're all in agreement. You know what we need? You know what they need to bring back? It's that Shrek fighting game. Super Slam. Shrek Super Slam. That's what we need. Reminds me of Smash X4. Yeah, it's a bit floaty-ish.
Memes are everywhere. Of an outlier in the never-ending list of mediocre video games based on movies or TV shows. Just like an onion, once you start peeling the skin of Shrek Super Slam, you'll discover something incredible. A game that has layers and layers of tech. But as players started experimenting, they discovered some pretty cool techniques. Players could drastically increase their movement speed through a technique known as shield cancelling, which reduces end lag on certain actions, allowing them to get moves out more quickly. Shield cancelling also unlocks the game's important and wonderfully named Crumpet Dash, which gives you a lightning fast air dash so you can close the distance on an opponent. Just like with Super Smash Bros. Melee, these techniques turned a silly party game into a highly technical competitive fighter, and the first to master these techniques would become gods of the game.
It was rushed so badly that for every wave dash in Melee, there's free text to be discovered in Shrek. There's jab combos that can align with other jab combos to become different jab combos. You can do jab combos while grabbing. You can cancel pretty much all moves, which leads to like all the.
I need to get me this game.
There's just so much to find because it's a buggy mess, but it's just nothing fundamentally breaks the whole experience.
But as with most games that are
Beautiful. Can you beat Goku? No, of course not. Absolutely not. I cannot beat Goku.
We're going to be looking at the... Okay, so here's what you got to know. We're going to be looking at the differences between Pokemon Red in the US versus Japan. The reason why we're going to be doing that is because it started off in Japan as Pokemon Red and Green, and so the sprite works, a lot of things, in fact, were very, very
I still
different
regret not
in
getting
Japan on
the
their first go around, and then a
red,
year
green,
later,
and blue,
they
and
came
yellow
out with Pokemon Blue,
2DS.
and that became the basis for all the sprite work that you saw in the US version. So the versions of Pokemon Blue in both the US and Japan are incredibly similar. It would be a very boring video, but because of that, Red in the US and Japan are very, very different, and it's going to be incredibly fun to show you all the differences between the two. Let's get started. All right, so like usual, we're going to break this off into 6 categories. Normally, we start off with box differences, but I just waved them around your face for 40 seconds there, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a break, and we're going to start off with environment details. Oh my god, you guys, even the freaking water's different!
The water's different.
You will not believe just how different the environment sprites are between the US and the Japanese
I never
version.
noticed.
It's insane. At a quick glance, everything might seem the same, but when you take a closer look, you'll start to realize that almost everything is different. The windows on buildings has shading in the US version. The Japanese version uses a lot more cross-hatching and dots on things like grass, roofs, and dirt patches, whereas the US version has a much more intentional design. Trees look a lot more detailed in the US version. Wooden and stone posts have a slightly different design. The water in Japan has a circular design pattern to its waves, whereas the US technically has both. The majority of the water in the US version has traditional waves, but still uses the Japanese water design for the SS Anne area. As you can see here, the stone tiles have a completely different design, as well as the wooden planks. Even the sign area, as you can see here, the stone tiles have a completely different design, as well as the wooden planks. Even the signposts had to be different for some reason. Clearly, somebody on the dev team got some notes to say you have to change all the sprites to quote-unquote look better.
Why? Why did
and in some
so
cases,
much
like here
work?
with the signpost, they were just like, well, what do we do? Well, I guess we're going to change it from a signpost with 2 poles sticking out to 1 pole sticking out, and it's hanging on the post. But by far, my favorite change between the 2 versions are the flowers. In the Japanese version, they look more like daisies, and they only have 2 frames of animation, whereas in the US version, they look like tulips, and they have 3 different frames of animation. We also can't forget about the tall grass. The tall grass was the first thing I ever noticed. Just like anything else here, it has a completely separate design for the sake of being different. And some of the signs on the exteriors of buildings are different. Like, for example, Poke for the Poke Center uses different lettering, and although it says shop in the Japanese version, for some reason it was changed to Mart in the US. But just in case someone asks, all the interior sprites are generally the same, including caves. Except for 1 cave, that is. Cerulean Cave is completely different, though not by sprite visuals. Instead, the layout of the caves are in no way the same. Having to go through both caves, I personally found the cave in the Japanese version to be a little bit easier to navigate. I did try to walk through both of them at the same time. That was a pain in the butt. But not only did I divide my attention to playing both caves at the same time and ended up at Mewtwo in the Japanese one first, when I tried to focus and just get through the US one, it still took me a lot longer to find Mewtwo. It felt like there was a lot more mazes and a lot more dead ends. Alright, next up is bizarre sprite details. Now I need to give a separate category for this because we're going to go through a lot of Pokemon later. In fact, all 151. And I didn't want these sprites in particular to get lost in the cold. So first up, we got Alakazam here. And in the US, Alakazam looks pretty normal. In fact, if you move over to the Japanese side, he looks pretty normal too. Until you kind of focus on his forehead.
Is that the Star of David? Or is that like the...
Oh my god. Now, it's a little hard to see with the white on yellows, so I'm going to change the hues so you get a better look at it. But as you can see here, it's not really a sheen that's on his forehead like the other de-evolved forms. Instead, it seems to be a star, which is interesting because Kadabra canonically does have a star on his forehead. That makes sense. And it looks as though Alakazam was originally supposed to have the Star of David on his forehead.
Oh, I was right. It is a Star of David.
But then
that was just a guess.
Is Mew. In the US, Mew's sprite's not amazing looking. A lot of the sprites in the first gen
Hey, what's up,
don't
Uncooked?
look that awesome. But at least Mew looks somewhat like Mew.
You're not late.
He's kind of cute, but obviously
you're
his later
early. I'm
designs
late.
look a lot better. The Japanese one though is really interesting, isn't it? You can tell me what that looks like.
What the hell?
The Japanese one though is really
What do they
interesting,
do to
isn't
my
it?
boy?
You can tell me what that looks like. I won't tell you, but I will tell you that when you
Ew.
rip the sprite, you can see that he has whiskers, and below on his stomach, it kind of looks like udders. It could just be sprite work that's giving the wrong impression. It's hard to say, but I'm just reporting on what I'm seeing. And then we've got Ekans. Now, a couple of Pokemon ended up getting better designed in the future. Pinsir, for example, has these beady eyes that are shown in both versions. The eyes ended up getting changed in later games, but I bring that up because
What the
in the case of
fuck?
Ekans, he actually had beady eyes as well in the Japanese version.
Why is his mouth
similar
open?
to Lickitung.
Oh.
It also looks like he's about to fire his laser or go pog. I don't know which.
Go
Meanwhile, in the
pog.
US, he's got a different set of eyes.
Why
that I guess
is
a
his
little bit
mouth
closer to
open
what would
so
be the final
wide?
Design. Still not great looking. He's still without a doubt a janky Gen 1 sprite. But between the two, I suppose this one hits.
This is the originator to the Gok 9000 right there. Japanese Ekans. Jesus, it can spread his mouth wide.
Hits the mark a little closer than the other. And we'll get to the next subject in just a second. I just gotta do the thing and say, hey, subscribing literally saves the channel from going under. I'm in this new weird algorithm situation where half the views have to come from subscribers. So if you hit subscribe, it forces the algorithm to show the video to other new people.
Oh, well,
Helps out a
man.
ton.
I
It also
got
increases
you.
the chances of you seeing a future video to about a 1 in 14 chance, even if.
Alright, but now we gotta skip it.
I think now's a good time to go back to the boxes. Now, like you saw at the start of the video, there are 3 different versions of Gen 1 Pokemon, not counting Yellow. I always count that as a 0.5 entry whenever they do something like that. And you'll see that the US boxes have a subtitle of Gotta Catch 'Em All, whereas the Japanese version says Pocket Monsters underneath, and inside the circle it says the
Gotta
Pocket
catch 'em
Monster
all.
Trainer. The top and left binders of the US copies have a picture of Gengar and a crying orphan. It's definitely a good way to sell some extra
Crying
copies,
orphan?
whereas the Japanese version did not. But each version of the game is personalized in Japan, showing the de-evolved forms on the back that correspond with the color. The same thing can be said for the manuals as well. And
That's
let's talk
cool.
about the manuals. The US version decided to add some character to its manuals by
Very
making them look
lame.
like trainer guides.
It's very
which includes
lame.
fake metal rings on the ends of it. The insides, however, use about the same amount of artwork
Yeah.
between the two regions. A core difference to the US version is that it has empty slots for all 150 Pokemon. I remember buying Pokemon
That's cool.
stickers from Walmart and collecting them by sticking them onto
It's
the
actually- okay,
corresponding
never mind, I take that
slots.
back. It's
The
kinda cool.
Japanese version, not too much to say about
Actually,
it.
I have one of those. I have a loose one. I want to see if the person, whoever owned it before me, put any stickers in it. Damn. Never mind. They didn't put anything on it. Fortunate. Hello, alarm. That's very loud. Look at these. I mean, it's just pretty neat. Pretty neat. I mean, look at Pikachu. My boy Psyduck right there. That's my boy. Now this is a slowpoke sprite I've never seen. When he's kind of giving you that stinky look. That is definitely new to me. And I've never seen that before. Oh no, it's the orphan. Damn. Okay. What else we got? Anything in the end? Damn. They could at least put something at the end. At least like one of them. Damn. Wait, does that mean... You know, this is kind of inaccurate because... Fun fact, if you didn't know, in Pokemon Blue and all that, in first gen, you can glitch Mew into the game. So technically, there should be one more right here, 151, because you can in fact get Mew. So, you know, maybe it was a misprint. Who knows?
Honestly, but there is one thing in Japan that they got that we did not, and I'm pretty jealous, honestly. It's an entire map of Kanto. Now, I want to show you what this map looks like.
Uncook wants a run back. Let me add you the point. We'll do it after this video. And this video is basically the difference between Japanese Pokemon Red and American Pokemon Red. Bro, you don't even have 5K.
Give you a couple of close-up shots.
My boy doesn't even have 5K.
How much detail there is to this thing. It's pretty freaking awesome, and it's a nice little incentive to pick up a Japanese version of Pokemon. This map was included with all 3 versions, including Blue. And lastly, the Japanese versions also on. This map was included.
We didn't get that.
3 versions,
That's kind of cool.
Blue. And lastly, the Japanese versions also came with an insert advertising.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll do it.
Other Game Boys.
We'll do it.
It's obviously not the coolest thing in here, but it's still, you know, a thing. Wouldn't want to leave it out. And lastly, the cartridges themselves. Over in Japan, all the cartridges had that uniform gray cart, whereas in the US, they color-coded them. It's hard to imagine owning a copy of Pokemon without the colored cart, but yeah, I guess that's just how it rolls in Japan. Alright, let's talk about the localization script. In the US version, there's an old man in the middle of Viridian City, and if you try to pass, he says, "You can't go through here." And then if you talk to the woman that's next to him, she says, "Oh, Grandpa, don't be so mean. He hasn't had his coffee." But in Japan, this old man's drunk. That part where you try to pass, he says, "Urgh, hold on a sec, just hear me out." Then your character starts to step away. He says, "Hey, I said don't go." And it seems that the lady next to him is not related in the Japanese version, saying, "This old guy fell asleep here.
Damn.
What can you do? Just gonna have to wait until he wakes up." And then when you deliver Oak's package...
Typical America. Censoring overload. Hey, what's wrong with a couple beer and a couple sake, man? Damn, ain't nothing wrong with that. Sure, maybe I was 10. But it's America. I can bet you my bottom dollar that a lot of kids at 10 have tasted beer or wine because of their parents. I can promise you that. A lot of youngins back in our day, in the 90s, had a little sip of the alcoholic beverage.
And talk to him after he's sobered up.
It just came with the territory, to be fair.
Says, "Oof, looks like I got drunk. My head hurts." So, you know, that's pretty insane. But alright, let's go through all the Pokemon from the 151 that have English names that are different from the US release. Weedle is known as Beetle. Kakuna is known as Cocoon. Weedle is known as Beetle. Kakuna is known as Cocoon. Beedrill is known as Spear.
That's kind of cool.
Pidgeotto is known as Pigeon. Sandshrew is known as Sand.
Okay.
Sandslash is known as Sandpan. Clefable is known as Pixie. Rapidash is known as Gallop. Magnemite is known as Coil. Magneton is known as Rare Coil. And now we're going to be
Rare Coil. Okay.
Talking about a little bit of an odd case here. Ekans and Ghastly. Ekans in Japanese is Arbo, which I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, that's not an English word. Well, its evolution form is the same between both the US and Japan, Arbok. And Arbok backwards is Cobra. And so for Ekans in Japan, they just got rid of the K, and it's Obra backwards, signifying that the evolution form completes the name. Same goes for Ghastly. In Japan, it's known as Ghost, but then it evolves into Haunter, which in Japan, it's known as Ghost. You see they just added the T there? I thought that was really interesting. Anyways,
that's kind of lazy.
Drowsy is known as Sleepy. Hypno is known as Sleeper. Krabby is just known as Crab. Chansey is known as Lucky. Vaporeon is Showers.
That kind of makes sense because
Crab.
Chansey's special item that only works for Chansey is called Lucky Punch, which increases Chansey's critical rate, I think. So that's kind of interesting. So maybe they did take a homage to Chansey's Japanese name.
Chansey is known as Lucky. Vaporeon is Showers. Flareon is Booster.
Damn.
Is known as Lucky. Vaporeon is Showers.
There's a lot of you guys that need this. Let me tell you.
Flareon is Booster.
And there's a lot of you guys that need booster shots.
Articuno is Freezer. Zapdos is Thunder. And Moltres is Fire. Alright, and now before we move on to
I'm
all
glad he put that in there.
151
I'm a big
Pokemon
fan
sprites, let's talk about miscellaneous stuff. So here we go. The Pokédex interface is pretty different. The Japanese version gets away with using one row, whereas the US version has to use 2 rows because it has a lot more characters. The battle menu has an odd swap as well. For the US version, selecting a Pokemon is in the upper right hand corner and the items are in the bottom left, whereas in the Japanese version, selecting a Pokemon is in the bottom left and the items are in the upper right. And then there's the map. Now you can either see this with Fly, or you can just look at a map in one of the random houses. But for some reason, the Japanese one has a border. It uses the same sprites as some of the paths in the game. Whereas
Oh, fuck. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know. I didn't even... Holy shit.
that part where you try
Here. We'll go back.
middle of Viridian City, and if you try to pass, he says, you can't go through here. And then if you talk to the woman that's next to him, she says, oh, Grandpa, don't be so mean. He hasn't had his coffee.
Why did you guys say something sooner? I forgot.
It's drunk. That part where you try to pass, he says, hold on a sec. Just hear me out. Then your character starts to step away. He says, hey, I said don't go. And it seems that the lady next to him is not related in the Japanese version, saying, this old guy fell asleep here. What can you do? Just gonna have to wait until he wakes up. And then when you deliver Oak's package and talk to him after he's sobered up, he says, oof, looks like I got drunk. My head hurts. So, that's pretty insane. But alright, let's go through all the Pokemon from the 151 that have English names that are different from the US.
That's so
release.
funny.
Weedle is known as Beetle. Kakuna is known as Cocoon. Beedrill is known as Spear. Pidgeotto is known as Pigeon. Sandshrew is known as Sand. Sandslash is known as Sandpan. Clefable is known as Pixie. Rapidash is known as Gallop. Magnemite is known as Coil. Magneton is known as Rare Coil. And now we're going to be talking about a little bit of an odd case here. Ekans and Ghastly. Ekans in Japanese is Arbo, which I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, that's not an English word. Well, its evolution form is the same between both the US and Japan, Arbok. And Arbok backwards is Cobra. And so for Ekans in Japan, they just got rid of the K, and it's Obra backwards.
Obra.
Signifying that the evolution form completes the name. Same goes for Ghastly. In Japan, it's known as Ghost, but then it evolves into Haunter, which in Japan, it's known as Ghost. You see they just added the T there? I thought that was really interesting. Anyways, Drowsy is known as Sleepy. Hypno is known as Sleeper. Krabby is just known as Crab. Chansey is known as Lucky. Vaporeon is Showers. Flareon is Booster. Articuno is Freezer. Zapdos is Thunder. And Moltres is Fire. Alright, now before we move on to all 151 Pokemon sprites, let's talk about miscellaneous stuff. So here we go. The Pokédex interface is pretty different. The Japanese version gets away with using one row, whereas the US version has to use 2 rows because it has a lot more characters. The battle menu has an odd swap as well. For the US version, selecting a Pokemon is in the upper right hand corner and the items are in the bottom left, whereas in the Japanese version, selecting a Pokemon is in the bottom left and the items are in the upper right. And then there's the map. Now you can either see this with Fly, or you can just look at a map in one of the random houses. But for some reason, the Japanese one has a border. It uses the same sprites as some of the paths in the game, whereas the US one uses no border. And the interface for the text is different as well. This allows you to see a better idea of how the map is supposed to look, whereas the Japanese version uses the same color palette for its borders and in turn can make some confusing geometry. And now let's talk about the Super Game Boy borders. Now this is the one thing I'm going to break my rule on. We've been looking at the differences between Pokemon Red in the US and Japan.
What's up, 7-foot giant? I'm doing all right.
All the borders. One big difference you're going to see between the US and the Japanese borders is that Pocket Monsters is left out. It's just omitted in the US version. They did not replace it with Pokemon. They got kind of lazy there, whatever. Don't think anybody cared or noticed, but in Japan they actually had Pocket Monsters written out on every single border for the Super Game Boy, depending on which version you used. A fun little extra fact that I'll point out here, all the sprites on the borders are based off of the Japanese versions, not the US versions. So Kangaskhan, Clefairy, and Pidgey, all those sprites are based directly off of the original sprites of the Japanese version, despite the fact that the same border was used for the US Red as well. And lastly on this subject, Pokemon Green doesn't exist in the US, and so sprites of Pikachu and others do not show up in any US release of Pokemon. Instead, blue is blue and red is red, and blue got a completely different border. And the last thing I want to talk about as far as miscellaneous stuff is that for some reason, the sprites in Vermilion City, for where you make this Pokemon trade, are two different sprites. Nowhere else in the game are the sprites any different. They don't look any different. They're not swapped out to be different, but here we have a man in a hat, and then in the other version, we seem to have a little girl. I have no idea how this change came about or why it came about. It's just one of those weird little oddities. And now we're going to look at all 151 Pokemon and contrast all the differences between
Now this
the
is
two
what I'm
versions.
excited for.
It's a crazy idea, but let's see how it goes. With Bulbasaur, the Japanese version is standing in place while the American one is jumping. In the US one, Ivysaur is standing straight up. In the Japanese version, the trunk for Venusaur is way longer, making for a very awkward looking sprite. Charmander looks a little happier in the Japanese version, with a foot kicking
I never
up.
really liked the Charmander, the English sprite for Charmander for red and blue.
Off in the
It just
air.
looked weird.
Charmeleon has a really weird thing going on.
Charmeleon
with
was
his arms
fine.
in the Japanese version, which looks slightly better in the US version. Charizard is breathing fire in the
Charizard's
Japanese version,
alright.
and the
It's
US
fine.
version one looks a little more menacing. Squirtle in the Japanese version looks like he wants to go in for a hug, whereas the US one looks like he's prancing. The Japanese sprite for Wartortle seems to be screaming, whereas the US one looks like he's in a battle pose. Blastoise in the Japanese version just looks way better.
Yeah.
I guess what they were trying to go for here with the US one was stand upright and have a more menacing pose. It didn't really pay off though. Caterpie is nearly identical, but you can still tell that it's different from something like the tip of the tail. Metapod looks way better in the Japanese version.
No,
The eyes look
I disagree. I think the American one looks better.
better in the US one though. So honestly, if they could just combine the two features together, it would be a perfect sprite. Butterfree has a slightly different pose in the
Butterfree
US.
looks
It's
better.
just kicking up his feet instead of draping them down.
And
in
the American
Japanese
Butterfree's
one.
better.
Beetle looks a little more proportionate in the Japanese version. Over in the US, his head looks a little more bulbous. Kakuna doesn't make any sense in the US version. He is a near perfect sprite in Japan, but in the US one, they seem to interpret a part of his body as claws. It's strange. Beedrill has an upright position in the Japanese version, whereas in the US, it looks like he's more in a flying pose. Pidgey in the Japanese version seems to be crying out, whereas Pidgey in the US version just has a very neutral pose. The same exact thing can be said for Pidgeotto. The Japanese version of Pidgeot looks like he's continuing the trend with a cry, whereas the US one looks like he's taunting his opponent. It's very strange. Japanese version of Rattata seems to be pointing at the opponent, whereas the US one is very, very similar, but it's just standing there. Japanese version of Raticate has his mouth closed, whereas the US one has his mouth open, doing a cry. Japanese version of Spearow seems to have his foot sticking out with a cry. The US version just seems to be looking at the player. Both versions of Fearow seem to be flapping its wings, but the US one seems to have its mouth open. Ekans has the same pose in both versions, but he seemed to have gotten a huge makeover, like I mentioned earlier. Arbok in Japan seems to be facing the opposing Pokemon, whereas Arbok in the US seems to look at the player. Pikachu in the US version has smaller cheeks and
It's
floppier-
Fat Chew. Oh man. So Japanese Pikachu is actually pretty slim, pretty normal. A normal Pikachu we see, but the American Pikachu kind of got a little chunk. A little chonky on the way, I guess. And maybe it's to reflect each country, because you know, Japanese people tend to be more on the slimmer side, where Americans tend to be more on the chonky side. I mean, I'm sure we are the, I think we're the number, wait, are we the number, hold on. Wow, we are not the #1 country in obesity. That is interesting. I thought America was the #1 country for obesity. We are definitely not. Holy shit. Tuvalu? Okay, maybe let me rephrase it as in the #1 country, the #1 as in like superpower, like big countries, because like these are tiny countries. These are tiny countries. So when you for example, when there is 100 million person in one country and 10% of them are obese, but when you actually look at the number, 10% of the 100 million is a lot bigger than, let's see, for example, Tuvalu, which is the least visited country in the world, which has, I think, maybe 1,000. I don't know how many. 10,000 people. 11,646 people. And then that's about half. So it's about 5.5, okay? Give or take. Somewhere between 5,000, okay? So I think America is number one technically in amount. Because, like, I feel like this is a little bit skewed. So I still think America's number one in obesity. Hey, what's up, dog?
Seems the artist was in a bit of a rush because the proportions are looking way
Let's
off,
go.
whereas in Japan, he looks pretty great. Well, at least for a Gen 1. Raichu looks generally the same, just in 2 different poses. It almost looks like if you animated it together, he'd be dancing. Sandshrew in the Japanese version is sitting straight up, and Sandshrew in the US version is sitting down. Now with Sandslash, it sort of shows off this problem with a lot of the sprites from the Japanese version, where it's drawn to be a little bit too bulky. The US one hides this a lot better with the posing. Nidoran female in the Japanese version seems to have a much stronger cry. The US one seems to just kind of have like a bit of an egg shape. It also seems to be missing the horn on its head as opposed to the Japanese version, which thought to include it. Nidorina in the US version is on all fours, whereas in Japan it's on its hind legs. Nidoqueen in Japan is sporting that much chunkier design. Again, as we go through these comparisons, you'll see that the US one cleans it up a bit more, tightens it up a bit. Nidoran male in the US version seems to be jumping, whereas in the Japanese version he seems to be standing in place. Nidorino has 2 very dynamic poses between both versions, but as you can see, the Japanese version looks like it's in mid-strike. Nidoking in the Japanese version once again has a bulky design, cleaned up much better for the US version. Clefairy in the Japanese version has a neutral pose, whereas Clefairy in the US version seems to be jumping in the air. Clefable has just about the same pose between both versions. The US version has both arms up in the air as opposed to the Japanese one, and the Japanese version seems to lack a lot of version. It looks like she was altered from her original.
Just skip
sprite.
the ones there's like a big distinction because a lot of these are very similar.
The tuft of hit US version. In case it looks like the Japanese version has misproportioned.
They kind of fucked up her eye, didn't they? God damn. Poor Wigglytuff.
The eyes. I'm sure the art and the eyes are drawn as in the US version. They made a much larger head, include a tongue. The US version.
Come on, bro. You not even close. The American Golbat is so much better. So much better. Well, that's not how it works, dog. That's not how it works.
Not the best looking design, but there you can see the eyes are much bigger and that tongue is moist.
How do you even challenge someone in Muck? You can't. It's like Valheim. How does that even work?
Oddish in the US version seems to be jumping and also has a smile, whereas in the Japanese version, he looks more unassuming. Gloom in the Japanese version has a more neutral pose, whereas in the US one, it seems to be jumping. Vileplume, once again, being inorganic in the Japanese version, looks utterly fantastic. Also, the spot face a little better, whereas in the US version,
the Paras line looks a lot better in Japan.
Whereas in the US version,
about the same.
Seem to have some crosshatch looking. Whereas in the US version, his nose is more bulbous.
Diglett's better in America. Ducktrio looks cooler in the American version.
Cleaning himself. Persian in the US version. In the US version has its head tilted
more,
and in the different looking version, it does seem that the Japanese limbs, the US version has the same design kind of look with the
similar
clenched fist, where he posed like a Power Ranger. Whereas in the Japanese one, the eyes are. The US version looks more like really odd posing in the US. Ends of his spoons above his head, and the mustache between the two are designed much differently. That is pretty cursed. Machop in the Japanese version is flexing and is better behind this. I don't know what. Over in the US one, it seems that a 5-year-old once again designed this. I don't know what happened here.
Wait, what?
Japanese version spoons above his head, and the mustache between the two are designed much differently. Machop in the Japanese version is flexing and is better proportioned. Over in the US one, it seems that a 5-year-old once again designed this. I don't know what happened here.
I don't really get it.
Machoke has 2 different flexes between the 2 versions. It should also be noted that for some reason, the right eye of Machoke pose in the US version is present. The Japanese version has lighting. This is one of those. Victory Bell has very similar. A lot of the tentacles. It has its arm. The Japanese version had a weird design that for some reason carried over and tuned it up with more of an egg shape. In the US version, it was carrying, whereas the Japanese version, Slowpoke is in a neutral poke. The Japanese version seems to feature the Slowpoke a lot more.
Bro, that's
Magnemite has a more tilted.
That's kind of cool. I like American Slow, bro. That looks sick.
Whereas the Japanese version Ton in the US version seems to be attached to this, holding it like a weapon, and has one that's used in the Japanese. Dodrio seems to have a sitting up. Do simplify to the US, more up for a debate. Pokemon opponent and Japanese version seems more level. Pokemon opponent. Fuzzy in the thing could be said for Gengar. I just want to point out he looks freaking weird and fuzzy in the Japanese version. Onyx in the Japanese version seems to have a lot more detail, a much better design. Hypno's palm nose is looking a little more odd and interesting angle. New pose. The whereas in the US against a mirror off, whereas his cute in the Japanese version, Japanese one has a neutral pose, a little more is looking in Japan. One chan in the Japanese show off the what licky slightly. Third mistake, making the much better job of this version. Amplifies the Japanese version. His version has a neutral
Pretty
pose
similar,
similar. Version looks like a flop. Looks more like it's just a fish in water. Sea King in the US version looks like a flopping fish.
Why y'all
in
living
Japanese
in your
version,
parents'
it looks like it's
basement?
seen some stuff.
What's up, dirt bike?
Staryu, it looks incredibly similar between the two versions, but the US one is angled between the two sprites. Mr. Mime between the two versions just has two different miming poses. I would say that the Japanese version hides the early design. One has cross-hatching, to be winking at the player. It has different poses, whereas the Japanese version does a much better job of showing off all its features. Pinsir's sprite just seems to be such as the eyes. Version, the US forehead. Gyarados in the US version has a much better looking design. In the Japanese version is especially good. The poses are very, very... There's a smile on its face. Tweaked in. The US version has its mouth closed. It's just laying down. It seems to be misshaped tips. And once this version looks like he's ready to dance.
Almost
Whereas in the Japanese version, he looks like
star.
he's ready to hug. Kabuto is very different between the bottom. Whereas
We gotta play the Omastar song. So at what should I start? What are you talking about, dog?
We gotta rap some Pokemon.
Where's the Omastar song? I don't want the original one. I want the Omastar song. Where'd it go? I can't wait. I can't wait. Or is it? Bro, where is it? No. There it is. Found it. When was this made? 2014. Thank you. The Lax 1.5. Thank you. This is the perfect example of something incredibly simple yet incredibly hilarious. Got it. I totally agree with you. Omastar is dope. Like start my connect at YouTube, Twitter, or TikTok. Remember, just start. Listen. I promise you, you asking me about it will do you nothing good. You just start. Just start something, anything. Just start.
In the Japanese version, he looks like he's ready to hug. Kabuto is very different between the two.
Just
in the
do
US
something.
Version, we see the top of Kabuto, whereas in the Japanese version, we see the bottom of the Kabuto. Kabutops in the Japanese version seems to be angled a lot
If you
better.
worry about too much of, oh my no, what should I do or what I need to do before even starting, you're never gonna start.
The front-facing angle of the US one is just a little bit odd looking.
Trust me, it's not that deep.
Aerodactyl
Just
in the US version seems to be
just
downward
go for it.
gliding, whereas in the Japanese version, he seems to be flapping his wings. Snorlax in the Japanese version seems to have a very symmetrical design.
Well, you
whereas in the
don't
US
you don't
version,
need
there's
a
this
you don't need a
dynamic
you don't need a
pose
VR setup
where he's leaning backwards.
to start streaming.
Articuno in the Japanese version has its mouth
Just
closed,
if you have a
whereas in the
phone,
US
you can
version,
start
it
streaming.
looks a little more cartoony and its mouth is open. Zapdos's angling is only
You don't need a
slightly
phone.
different,
I
but
mean,
as
you
a
don't need a
result, it does make the
PC.
sprite
You don't
different
need a
between the
VR
two.
setup. If you have a phone,
Moltres'
you can
face
start
is
streaming.
very different between the two. In the US version, its eyes are beady, whereas in the Japanese version,
You just might be you might be limited on what you can do.
make the cake more cartoony. Dragonair Japanese swirl Serious gamer neck in the design would be a Mewtwo in the US version has its gamer neck now and looked absolutely fantastic in the Japanese version. Very good job. At this point is that between we discussed Mew earlier, and all I can say at this point is that between the two, I think that the US one does look a lot better.
True.
This vid in particular took a lot of work, so thank you so much for watching the whole thing. I also have similar episodes.
Well, that was fun. All right. The Showdown. Hey, what's up, Death? Showdown. All right. All right, Uncooked. You got my undivided attention. Well, I'm thinking of my content to be VR. Well, like I said, just start. Just start, and when you get your VR, then you can do your VR stuff. Just start. To start with something, you know? Who do I want my character avatar to be? I want to be... Hey, let's do the clown. Let's go. Need to get back to homework, so yeah, thanks for the stream. Alright, see you, dog. Oh, here we go. This is battle number 1. Battle number 1. Poisoned, unfortunate. Yeah, let's go, Lumberry! Let's go! Let's go! I would have liked to use the Lumberry for the outrage confusion, but it's fine. What? Bro, you're kidding me. Oh my god. I really missed a 95%. I really did. I really missed a 95. That's crazy. That is insane. This was supposed to be my Garchomp swamp. My Garchomp sweep. And it got spoiled because of a miss like that. That's crazy. roost. Let's go. Let's go. Well, let's go. The Torah sweep? You would have never guessed it. What's up, James? Yeah, megas. I forgot. We're playing Gen 6, aren't we? Let's go! Unless you have Sucker Punch. You don't have Sucker Punch? But I still missed. Doesn't matter. Huh. It's unfortunate I missed. Ooh. Big Bird. Big Bird. Freeze? Damn. Come on, freeze. Come on, Swanna. Freeze. You got it, Swanna. Come on. Freeze. Yes! Let's go! Let's go! The 10% freeze! I'll take the trade. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it to the bank, boys. I'll take it. I feel so bad. I have a Garchomp and a Haxorus on my team. That's just, that's... Alright, man. It's 1-0. I'll keep... You can pick the next gen, the next fight. I'll let you pick. All of it today is all on you. There we go. 1-0. You can pick. It's all up to you. Just no repeats. No repeats. Ah, Gen 4. Okay. Let's switch to Gen 4 music. Okay, okay. Tank it. Let's go, Hypno. That's my boy. Now we take those. Easy clap. We take those. We take those, don't worry. We take those. Yeah, Stealth Rock, you can't stack it. Only spikes and toxic spikes are the ones you can stack. Then like later on, like the sticky web or whatever, the thing that slows your speed. Thank you, no energy ghost. 1%, rough. The Hypno Sweep? The Hypno Sweep? Perhaps? Are we about to witness a Hypno Sweep? What am I playing? I am playing Pokemon Showdown with my viewers right now. Woo! Dude, my luck is insane. My luck, bananas right now. Absolute bananas. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but like, what was I supposed to do? You know? I didn't want to die. Oh man. Holy shit. Oh my god, that did so much damage. Holy shit, that did a lot of damage. Oh my god, that did a lot of damage. Jesus. Am I faster or are you faster? You're faster. Alright, just gotta hope you don't crit. Let's go fucking Hypno. Let's go! That's my boy. Let's fucking go! So the only way you can beat my Hypno right now is if you get a freeze with the Ice Punch. That is your only way right now. Or that. That works too. Holy moly. That was funny. Holy fudge. Yeah, you gotta get that freeze, man. You gotta get that freeze. Damn. Oh man. This is rough. Hypno to OP. Hypno is kinda dope. I'm not gonna lie. Is Toxic Crook's special ability super fart? No, it's not. Oh no. Live it, Hypno. Let's go. That's my boy. Double protect? Oh, I failed. I might die here. Let's go! Hypno! Live it? No! Hypno! No! No! I will redeem you, Hypno! With the Deli Bird sweep! Let's go, Deli Bird. Let's go, Deli Bird. Let's go, Deli Bird. Let's fucking go, Deli Bird. Woo! That's all we needed, boys. Hypno and Deli Bird. That was funny. Oh, I forgot I need to be saving these replays just in case. All right, man. 2-0, man. 2-0. 2-0. Oh, Gen 5. Okay. All right, you better hope you get some good Pokemon because this is your final chance. What's up, Ham? Did I play Warzone with you? Sorry, Dawson. I don't really play Warzone. How did you wake up already? Oh. Is he sweet? Bro, he's setting up on me. How dare he? Let's go. My turn. Boop. 600 special attack. Uh-oh. This might hurt. This might hurt. I've been doing all right, Ham. I've been doing all right. Not be, that is the question. This might hurt. Damn, you gave me choice scarf. That's fine. I don't mind having choice scarf, dark pulse. I'm just guaranteed to be faster than everything. Thank you, Ham. Porygon? Bro, that's my boy. You killed your boy? Well, you know, I got multiple boys. He just happened to be not my boy at the moment. Or the boy. Why did you let me set up, man? Why did you do it? Why did you let me set up? Why did you do it, man? Well, that was fun, though. I do enjoy these fights. I really do enjoy them. They're super fun. Just take them. I really know, but to be honest, I do enjoy these. Showdown's super fun. But yes, I am a man of my word. I have to keep. One more for double or nothing? Probably not. Probably not. We can do a couple more for fun if you want. Because I think the only thing you're lacking is experience. That's the only thing you're lacking, experience. Do it. Yeah, honestly, like I said, I feel like the only thing you're lacking is just practice. Like when I sent my Leopard out and you had your Gothitella or Gothela, whatever it's called, you used a psychic move on a dark type. Like, I think it's just matchup knowledge you don't understand very well, or type, maybe just little things. This game, I'ma bully you. What the fuck? Did I miss? Glare is a 74.61% chance move? Yo, this game's stupid. That's dumb. I'm gonna die. Snorlax is so broken, I forgot. Oh no, I'm gonna lose. Bro, he's too strong. Snorlax is too strong, dude. I can't do anything to Snorlax. He's too strong, dude. Let him level. He needs to level up. I can't do anything to Snorlax. The game was not happy with all my good Pokemon RNG, so they're like, all right, time to fuck you up. I used self-destruct and your paralyzed saved me. Ah, that's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Ooh, let's tank it, Onyx. Let's tank it. That's my boy. Unless he has rest. No, he doesn't. Damn. You really did me dirty like that. He just is hyper beam on everything. He just doesn't care. Freeze? Damn. We both hit Blizzard. Yo, this game's dog shit. Yo, this game doo-doo. Unless it freeze? No. Damn. Freeze? Game's doo-doo, man. This game's doo-doo. This game's doo-doo. It's time for the Mr. Mime sweep. Get it? Mime sweep? Let's go! Turn one paralysis? Incredible. No! No, Mr. Mime! No! Bro, what an asshole, dude. He didn't die. He didn't die. What the fuck? What the fuck? You could have named your alt Davifoos too. I could have. Oh, he did. Wow. I'm surprised he didn't die from that. Damn. But Sokka. Sokka's a good name. Of course, because it was a special move. Doesn't work like that. I think I lost. No, I definitely lost. Running into a Snorlax and a Gyarados, that was terrible. Unless crit. Was not happening. Was not happening at all. Was not happening. Damn. You know, it be like that. Sometimes I get bad Pokemon. Sometimes it just happens. Did you watch? Absolutely, of course. How would I not know Sokka? Of course. Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the best fucking anime ever created. What the fuck is this? Why did he get a ho-ho? Yo, this game's this game's dumb. How the fuck did he get a ho-ho? Who thought that was a good idea? I convinced my brother to watch it. That's good. I think everyone should watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Not Korra. I think Korra was pretty mid. Korra was super mid. Ouch. A defense drop? Wow. I think Korra was okay. It was super duper okay. But yeah, would have preferred more Aang, you know? Explosion, yeah. I figured. That's a normal move. A very typical move you see on Electrode. Now I will mysteriously disappear. Alright. Oh. If you do, have a good day, man. Thank you for the infinite free health. So sweet of you to support my Meganium like this. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Like right now? That's what's happening right now? Like right now, right now? Oh shit. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna add a quick game. Let's do... Imagine your alt leaves you. Couldn't be me. Well, that happened. Let's do battle factory. I don't know how that works, but yeah, okay. He's gone. He's gone. He gone. How would you start your battle? Wow, I got robbed. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 legendaries. I got trash, 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 trash. Wow, this is terrible. What? Yo, I hate it here. There is no wrong choice for him. Damn. Bro, that shit hurt. What can I do to hurt him? There's not a lot of things I can... Actually, I know what to do. I'm gonna take this time to set up on him. Set some spikes up. That should really help me out in the long run. Of course. Jirachi. Of course. Now, this is where I hope I get the burn. If I can get the burn, it'll be really good. And I got paralyzed. Serene Grace. And I got the Wow. That's so unfortunate. Please burn. Ah. That's rough. That's rough. That's terrible. 328. Well, he probably has Fire Punch. Fire Punch, Thunderbolt, and Iron Head. Something. Welcome back, Uncooked. Well, let me finish this match real quick. Then we'll resume. What an idiot! He thought Psyche would work. What an idiot! Boy, I am tanky, my dude. I am tanky. Let's just restart. He forfeited. Damn. You know, it'd be like that. Let's see. Let's do knock. Oh, brother. Bop. Oh! Yo, get owned. You Alolan Muck is amazing. I take everything back. This Muck is nasty, dude. This Muck is filthy. Holy shit, this thing is filthy. Live. He's sashed. Wow. Okay. Filthy. This Muck is filthy. Absolute filth. Yo, dog, just forfeit, man. You lost. Just forfeit. Bro, this is nasty. 24%. Okay, I'm gonna die next turn. So I'm gonna take this chance to actually switch out. I don't want to lose my Muck.
So long, Bowser.
So long, Bowser. Please do not miss, Scolipede. Please do not miss. Please. Please don't miss. Please. Yes. You know, Dylan, I'm surprised you stuck it through this far, man. Wow, 710 speed. I'm very surprised you stuck it through this far, buddy. Because I would have left. I would have been gone. Been gone. $1,065 speed. That's amazing. I gotta finish this off with Muck. It's just right. It feels wrong if I don't do it with Muck. My boy. And he woke up. I'm dead. Oh, here comes the sweep, boys. Here comes the sweep. Bro, we lost, boys. Boys, we lost. We just soiled it, boys. And I missed. We lost, boys. We lost. We lost. Poison? No, we got it. We got it in the bag. We got it in the bag. We got it in the bag. No, he can't do anything, dude. Not even close, baby. Not even close. Not even close. Bop. It's okay. It's okay. He's just slowly dying. There's nothing he can do. Please don't miss. Let's go. Easy clap. GG, homie. GG. I have a chance. We can play Juggernaut. The one who gets less points wins. I mean, that could happen. I don't mind GeoGuessr. But the less point one's kind of genius. Hello? Got him. Yoink! Thank you for the leftovers. Much appreciated. We'll do. Should I play now and tell you my score so when you aren't busy you play and tell me your score? We'll save it for next stream because I'm about to go soon. I gotta go soon. We'll save it for next time. And I don't know if you still want to do GeoGuessr by then. You could always switch it later if you want. If you have like if you during the my off day streams you're like, oh, we could do this instead, then you can tell me you know, the next stream. Yeah, leech seed doesn't stack. Yes, that was a good switch. There you go. See you later, Fierce. See you next stream, buddy. Moonlight? Oh, wait. I guess he's not. I guess he isn't weak against ground type until next gen, I guess. Huh. That's interesting. Very interesting. Damn. That's rough. And me not getting the paralyze is even worse, but damn. That's rough. I'll take it. I'll take it. Boom, 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 boom. This might have been a bad idea, man. Yeah, that might have been a bad idea on your part. Yeah, this might have been a terrible idea on your part. Yeah, this was a terrible idea, man. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not like this. Not like this. That's nasty. 828 attack, 716 defense. That ain't gonna do anything, my boy. Nothing. You see that defense? Nothing. The only thing that can touch me is probably Venusaur and whatever your last Pokemon is, maybe, depending on what it is. Like, you gotta get the luckiest string of crits and misses with that Venusaur to kill me. This might be a big G and then a small G. Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Your last Pokemon can't touch this Piloswine. Oh, look at that crit! Oh my god! Too bad he died. That is insane. The fact that you hit 81.1% of my health when I had 716 defense is kind of what blows my mind, actually. Wow. That is ridiculous. Damn, he died. There you go. Wow, that 716 defense. And he almost died to a crit. Insane in the membrane. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You good, buddy? There's not much choices you can really do. Well, technically, there is one you could do. One right move. One big brain move, actually. And depending on what move you had, could kill me. I don't know what your fourth move is. But if it works out, it could pay dividends. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Now, what is your fourth move? I thought it was some kind of ice move, but now I'm not too sure. Maybe it's body slam. Gen 2 moveset really never makes any sense, so it's probably body slam. I mean, like, Polyrath, a fighting type, has something. I don't even remember what it has. It doesn't have a fighting move. That's all I can remember. It's crazy. Had to run around my house to celebrate the mammals. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, honestly, you know, good job on defeating that mammal swine. That was a big wall. But the damage has already been done, unfortunately. What am I doing? I have two other Pokemon that can take care of Mantine so much better. And I'm over here trying to slowly, like, kill your Mantine when I can do it so much faster. Yeah, I had a Raikou in the back the whole time. Surprise! Surprise! Surprise. Yeah, well, that was my last one for today, man. I gotta get ready for class and shit like that. But you know, good games. That was fun. I might need to start changing up what I do on stream. I love playing Pokemon Showdown, but too much is not good. But I very much enjoy it. All right, boys, I gotta go. Short goodbye today. Very short goodbye. Next time on Dragon Ball Z, we'll be doing, I don't know what we'll be doing, which is Tuesday actually. So I'll be back. Yeah, expect more YouTube videos. I already have one video in my YouTube that I'm gonna probably public either today after I come back from class or tomorrow. I have the thumbnail and everything. I just gotta write it out and publish it. Then I'm gonna be editing more stuff. So, I mean, and TikTok. Watch out for TikTok, too. It'll be there, too. But, gotta go. Goodbye, TikTok. Sorry, Lobster. I know you're waiting on me, but I gotta go, buddy. And goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Osh. Goodbye, Uncooked. Bye-bye. You have a good Thursday, everybody, all right?